dollars, eating shrimp by the dollar. Met some girls in Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they wouldn't bother, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me.
Knowledge to me.
Doing homework every night of the week.
Night of the week.
Plus she chilling up at college with me.
College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 4:30. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey, or a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high, fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on, ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you, oh, let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. Okay. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. So I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim, pick on the fly. Time's on our side, but look again, then it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin, let's begin. Hey, you kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Poppa T here at JCT TV, and I want to thank you for welcoming us back into your world as we welcome you aboard the JCT train this evening. We have a special dedication tonight to the industry of music. We want to make sure that you guys give a great applaud to our staples in the house, which is Jose the Golden One doing the JCT Entertainment News. We also have Mazu, who's going to be doing something special tonight, I guess in the performance arena. We have a couple of music videos for you, and we have the sensational Roger Meltzer from Capsicum Records. To my left, your direct right there in TV land. How's it going, Roger?
Nice to be back.
Always a pleasure. Roger, I say always a pleasure to be back. It's like your family here. But we're going to talk tonight about the entertainment industry. Not so much the entire entertainment industry, but as music goes, so does the industry. But the music industry, can it survive?
It's in trouble.
Indeed.
It's in real trouble.
Indeed.
Combination of lack of leadership,
Okay.
lack of vision,
Okay.
lack of reality,
Okay.
and the industry, particularly the major labels, have paid an incredibly high price for their lack of vision.
Okay.
I'll just give you a little quick sample before we get into anything serious. When maybe the biggest year in the history of the recording industry
Okay.
was the year 2000. It was a $14 billion business, 14 billion with a B dollar business. Last year, I think the last year we have full figures for was maybe 2011. I don't know if the 2012 figures are out yet.
Okay.
But it was less than 7 billion. Now, you say, well, geez, that's a lot of money.
Economically,
Still,
who can
okay.
survive an impact
well,
like that?
I mean, just grasp that the industry is 50% what it is. Now, all these majors with their armies of promotion people and PR people and A&R people and the people that have on staff running around getting coffee, those jobs went with the revenue going away. Okay, so they run on skeleton crews, etc.
Okay.
And they've done something else too. They've cut back the number of signings that they make because it's so front end loaded in terms of the expenditures and the investments that labels have to make behind the new artist.
Okay.
So it does affect everybody in the business when the majors are in trouble.
Indeed.
Why the majors are in trouble is because instead of getting in front of the technology, and I'm talking about the computer age, the .com world,
Indeed.
they try to resist it. The industry spent billions, literally billions of dollars trying to develop a technology that would make file sharing impossible. They were trying to make it so you couldn't copy a CD and send files to your friends or whatever, which is sort of like, it would be like spending billions of dollars to make the uncopyable buggy whip after the automobile has been invented.
There you go.
Okay, so, but I mean, until they realize that they have to harness the technology and use the technology. Now, interestingly enough, the satellite industries to the record industry have grown like mad. Part of that is internet radio, which has had a growth spurt. I don't want to get carried away with it because most of them have 6 listeners, but
okay,
and they're their relatives. But the truth is, there is solid growth there. They do make an impact on the public taste, and not only that, they play stuff that the majors, that other labels, they give opportunities to small indies and stuff like that that can't compete with the dollars that go into terrestrial radio and that sort of stuff. So that's an important growth. The other area is, when I talk about the satellite industry, I'm talking about the digital distribution network of companies like iTunes, which is owned by Apple, or Amazon.com, who are together at least 70% of the digital market. Okay, and they're killing the majors and everybody else too, because they're a 99-cent download. They're taking 34 cents off the top. That's more than a third of the revenue generated by the whatever demand can be stimulated by the major. They don't create any demand. They just put the stuff up and they let you go look for it and download it. So they're not promoting anything. It's just a place to go to buy. It's like owning a store. They don't make any product. They just
bring me all your records.
Bring me your records. I'll charge people 34 cents off of a 99-cent, which means that the label, if you're doing the arithmetic on this, it's going to net 65 cents off the sale, not off the product, just from the sale. So out of the 65 cents, now they have to pay a copyright fee, which is set by the Library of Congress, the U.S. Federal Copyright Board, which is 9.1 cents. Okay, they got to pay the artist a fair rate today. It still varies a lot with the negotiation power of the artist. At least 10% of that. That's 6.5 cents on the 65. You're not going to pay on the 99 cents because you're not getting 99 cents. So you could pay on the 65. You might pay 10%. You got to pay the producers anywhere from 2 to 6 points. Okay, so now you're lucky if you clear 40, 45 cents. How many thousands of downloads do you need to make back the cost of the production, the promotion? I mean, that's the reality of the business. This is numbers.
Right. We haven't even spoken about or deducted the marketing funds yet.
Yes, the promotion money, you know, and just your production budget, just to make back what it costs you to make the record.
Exactly.
All right, so
production.
You know, I'm not telling you that labels have always conducted themselves honorably. I mean, if there was a way to steal somebody in the record business, figured out how to rip off an artist or a songwriter. And when we do our workshop, we're going to talk about copyrights and royalties and stuff. But I'm just talking about a straight up operation, a label trying to meet all of its legal obligations to pay for the copyright, to pay the artist, to reimburse the artist for their royalty, for their creative work, for the producer, and to give all that money off the top to iTunes or Amazon.com or some of the other digital outfits. I mean, it's almost impossible to wind up in the black without mega hits in an era when there aren't any mega hits.
That's right. That's right. When we come back, we're gonna talk about should we call it impulsion or should we call it compulsion for artists to go out and put 18, 20-something records on one CD and they don't even have a demand for a single
24 cuts on an album. I've seen it.
Isn't that incredible? But we're going to come right back and we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to go over to a video of some of our buddies down in the cities, and we're going to cover the snakes issue, and then we're going to come back and talk about the other snakes.
The biggest, hugest one. The longest one. This one is no, that's the longest one right there. Look, this is a snake in the bottle. He killed killed the bottle. He killed the bottle. That's hilarious. Is he talking to me? Janelle, its spine is so long.
Trying to eat me alive. But you big one, you swallow, right? See, he trying to get to me. He's trying to swallow you. That's all right. How is that?
Look at all those snakes.
What do you pick up? I want 8 months. There you go.
That snake is too big. Oh, look. Yo, Janera, this is the longest ones ever.
I ain't got no camera. I said I ain't got no camera to take a picture. That bad. I'm gonna take one picture I want.
Look, Janera, look at that. He just keeps climbing over his foot. Is he upside down? Big one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Roger and I, the rapport, is just there. But you guys need this information, and that's why he's here. It's a blessing and honor to have him aboard here today. We're also going to be doing the panel, and it's a part of something that broke off of some of the icons of the industry, like Roger himself, Jerry Butler, the Iceman, McFadden and Whitehead. He's worked with all of those folks, as well as some of the majors from the reggae industry as well. I mean, you have one gentleman that assisted you in writing one of Sledge's albums or records that's nominated for Grammy, right?
Well, Desi Hyson, who leads a group called the Original Wailers, and has Al Henderson in it, who played with the original with Bob Marley and the Wailers, or the Wailing Wailers, actually. I think going back with Bunny and Peter Tosh and Bob. They're out touring, and they put out an album called Miracle, and I just learned this week. They are nominated for a Grammy, one of the 5 reggae albums nominated for a Grammy. And Desi co-produced a song on one of our artists, Sledge, a song called No Better Than I.
Oh, I love it.
And notice the pop influences.
Indeed.
But Sledge is an excellent talent in his own right and brought his own magic. But Desi brought that kind of wide and broad experience that he has. He founded Mojanaya, which was kind of a reggae band back in the day. And he has played with Culture and with some of the, when Joseph Hill was leading. So he brings a wealth of experience in reggae and R&B and pop, and he brings all those eclectic influences to the table. And then, of course, he's also a master keyboardist and guitar player. So you get a lot of goodies when you work with Desi.
Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we're going to go into the subject of snakes. Snakes can be conceived as a lot of things, but I'm going to first open up the floor to Roger and ask him, when I say snakes, and we're talking about the music industry, what comes to mind?
Well, we're not naming names.
Well,
we're not naming names. as a prelude to the workshop that we're going to do February 9th.
Yes.
In New York on
JMG Awards, folks.
It's called What You Don't Know Will Hurt You.
Indeed.
An introduction to copyrights and royalties. You know, if you were taking a walk in the woods, right, which is what a new person coming into music is doing, taking a walk in the woods, you need to know what's a venomous snake, which ones, you know, because they don't all rattle. Okay, and in the music industry, they don't all rattle. So, but there are snakes out there. There certainly were when I was coming up in the business, and there's still vestiges of them. And the snakes were usually in the fine print.
Okay.
And in the sense that they had all kinds of ways of finding opportunities to avoid putting money in your pocket or taking it out.
Okay.
So if they put it in, they took it out, or they just didn't put it in at all.
Indeed.
And so snakes come in the form of recoupment formulas and tricky little words like cross-collateralization. And we get into each one of these in a workshop. We could actually do a workshop on almost any. For instance, you're an artist, and they say, well, we're going to give you so much to sign. We're going to give you a cash advance of $50,000. We'll just work with round numbers for a moment, okay? Now, whatever you don't spend out of that to make your first album, okay, you can put in your pocket. So if we give you $50,000 and it costs you $35,000 to make your album, that's $15,000 that you make. Now, that's not found money. All right, that money is going back to the record company, and the way they do that is they consider that a cash advance against your future royalties. That, remember, it's not, nobody's in this business for a charity. It's a money drives them. If they don't make the money back, they're out of business. So they have to run in the black, or at least break even, or occasionally break even. And the rule of thumb in the business, even when I was coming up, was 1 hit pays for 9 flops. Okay, so if you don't get the 1 hit, or you don't make some money on the 1 hit, how are you going to pay for the 9 flops?
Indeed.
Okay, so understand it's a business. But there are still things that an artist or a producer or a writer need to know about which things rattle and which things don't.
Indeed.
So remember that a cash advance is going to be recouped against your royalties. Not only that, it's going to be recouped at the rate that you earn, not at the rate that the record company earns. So let's say you're an artist and you get 10%, and they sell an album for $10. Again, we're going to work with round numbers. Indeed. So 10% of that is $1. If you do the arithmetic quickly in your head, that means, fellas, you're going to sell 50,000 albums before you're going to see a dime in artist royalties, because they need to recoup that money. Now, they don't need to recoup it at their side of it. They need to, they're recouping it. It's a cash advance to you.
Indeed.
Okay, so that money. Now, how are they going to further ensure, in case you don't really sell 50,000 albums and pay it back? Okay, suppose you're also a singer-songwriter. Okay, so they're not only going to recoup it against your artist royalties, they're going to cross-collateralize what essentially is a loan. Indeed. Not a cash advance, but a loan. Indeed. They don't use that word, but that's what it is. Okay, they're going to cross-collateralize it against your copyright, your songwriting royalties. And if you're not only a writer but a publisher or a co-publisher of your songs, that's also cross-collateralized against that same advance. If you are self-produced or you co-produce with somebody they assign to you, your share of the production is also part of that cross-collateralization. Any way that you can make a dime, they want to make sure they get back that $50,000. And if you're going to be naive about it, and you don't, I mean, it used to be that kids would come in off the street and they had a great idea for a song, and the A&R guy would like them, and they would sign into a kind. The kid just couldn't wait. Oh my God, I'm going to hear my song on the radio. I've lived for this. This is my dream. Okay, but oblivious to the business of the business. And I'm not talking about people that didn't have a gift. I'll drop a name. I probably nobody in your audience, but Little Richard was an incredible talent. He was phenomenal. He was so gifted in so many different ways, as a musician, as a singer, as a songwriter, as a producer. This guy could do it all. Okay, yes, he was a little different, but difference was part of what he was and how he did what he did. He never got paid for years. I mean, finally, the record companies were so embarrassed. The PR impact of people knowing that Little Richard wasn't paid, they finally started to catch up and actually bring in auditors to look at the books and stuff like that. We used to say years ago that the record companies had 3 sets of books. They had a set for themselves, they had a set that they would show the artist, and they had a set that they would show the IRS. And the only set of books that were honest and truthful were the books that they kept for themselves. But I think some of those abuses have calmed down, but you still need to. There's a clause in contracts to this day. Some of these things are just vestiges that just didn't go away because nobody demanded they go home. And one of them was breakage. They're going to withhold 10% of your royalty for breakage. Now, I understand in a day when there was brittle 78 RPM records and some of them got shipped out and each one had its own sleeve in an album. So I could understand that there could be breakage. That stuff was really brittle. But on CDs and cassettes, there was no breakage. It was just a way of not paying you another 10% of your royalties. Or they would say, well, we're gonna liquidate those cash reserves against returns or breakage, okay? With no formula as to how they're going to liquidate it or no deadline, okay? There is no reason, my friends, that it should take any longer than 6 months to liquidate any cash reserve against returns. And in today's era with CDs and stuff like that, I mean, somebody's had a CD for 6 months and there was no flaw in it, the chances are it's not coming back. It's not going to be a return. So why would anybody be reserving your part of your royalties as a reserve against return?
Indeed. So the thing is, bottom line, but we're going to expound on it, not here today, but at the workshop, so you guys need to come out. But it's no longer a matter of the fine print we have to look at, but these people actually need to educate themselves because it's actually the terms that's screwing them down, right? Hold it. I
can't disagree.
We'll be right back. We're going to go over right now to JCT Television Entertainment News with Jose, the Golden One, and we'll be right back with Roger Meltzer, and he's a wealth of information to continue to enlighten you on the entertainment industry as we know it and call it the music business. Roger, you're great.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jose the Golden Child here with JCT Entertainment News. After making several cameos in film and TV over the past years, Mike Tyson is ready to hit the screen again. This time, he will be playing a murderer on the crime drama Law & Order SVU. Audiences who fell in love with the ex-fighter and his roles in The Hangover and Entourage can expect to see Iron Mike hit TV sets this year. The R&B supergroup Destiny's Child will be releasing a compilation album at the end of the month, which will contain the first new song recorded by the group in 8 years. The album entitled Love Songs will feature 14 of the trio's hits from 1997 to 2005. After following individual careers, the group is excited to reunite and provide their fans with more material to solidify their title as the world's top-selling female vocal group. In other Destiny's Child news, post-baby Beyonce is gracing newsstands again, posing for the cover of GQ magazine showing her world-famous curves, proving she is still bootylicious and more focused than ever. Rapper and actor LL Cool J made an appearance at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas this past week. The hip-hop pioneer introduced attendees of the show to the Liquid Mic Connect studio program. The new computer software allows artists across the world to record, collaborate, and share their music more easily. LL Cool J, being a seasoned veteran in the production studio, highlighted the software's ease of use and groundbreaking features. Liquid Mic Connect Studio will be in stores this year. After 11 years on the acclaimed game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?, the former Today Show host and two-time Emmy winner, Meredith Vieira, said she's leaving the game show for other ventures, including more work at NBC News. Vieira also has her own production company, so pushing more work through the company is most likely another route she will be traveling. She produced the touring play Life in a Marital Institution, 20 Years of Monogamy in 1 Terrifying Hour, and other plays among those. These options are only speculation, as Meredith has yet to officially announce her future plans. Musician MIA is facing problems releasing her upcoming 4th studio album, MIA told Australian news sources the album is delayed due to the label Interscope Records considering it to be too positive to appeal to her fan base. The Paper Planes lyricist stated executives at the Interscope told her the upbeat tracks didn't gel well with her scandal-driven public persona. She's attempting to meet the request of her label, and the much-anticipated album, which was initially slated for a December release, will not hit stands in April. The television network TLC is adding another reality series to its already true-to-life lineup of shows. The new program called Plastic Wives follows suit with The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, depicting 4 wives of plastic surgeons, including extra co-host Dana Devon. A statement from the network reads, "These women are so obsessed with looks that they'll stop at nothing to attain perfection from head to toe and everywhere in between. These extreme treatments have been routine for those living inside the industry, and to certain women, aging gracefully isn't an option." Plastic Wives is set to premiere at the end of the month. Will this show have what it takes to keep on pace with TLC's other hit series, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo? Only Adam Levine will know that one. Pop singer Kesha's single Die Young was pulled from radio stations after the Sandy Hook, Connecticut school tragedy. Die Young was number 3 on the pop charts when the massacre occurred. Since then, it has been dropped from the radio play nationwide. The singer tweeted her agreement with the move on Wednesday, saying she's so sorry for anyone who's been affected by this tragedy, and she understands why the song is now inappropriate. Words cannot express. Jose the Golden Child with your JCT TV Entertainment News. Thank you.
We about to go holler at Grizz, man. See what's good with this nigga.
Good, Daddy.
Huh? What's poppin'?
I mean, coming from the A block.
Rest of this walk gonna be hard without you, my nigga.
Man, A block. It's the street. Huh?
Early plumber, know the Grizz, I'ma miss you much. Damn, little bro. Shit real like a Billy front, tryna stunt like you still here, and you really not. But in a spare phone, your flow saying get a dust. I can feel you right here, making sure I'm manning up. I'ma take it back, let them know how you ran, son. Remember that first time you said, let me hit the blunt. Caught me in the cunt, you like, damn, let me get some. I'ma keep it one for you and crush them crews. Bring it to the funds, nigga, cash gon' rule. Started out moving fast, seeing though you had to have. Watching me pick badge, see you have my swag. Like big bro, I gotta get it to make them mad. I'm about to hit the strip, but don't tell dad. And my mom's gon' bug on me, she already mad. I'm supposed to be in school, but I gotta get this cash. Still see
Clockwork. Holla at me, nigga. Huh?
Yes. Clockwork. Oh yes. Rel G. Clockwork. Marv Kendall. Clockwork. I figure I better keep up, man. We on a sick grind. Just right now, it's called taking personal. Willow Street is my stomping ground. Connecticut is the state that birthed this little city where I caught my crown. For the verse, now holla back if y'all feel that I'm worthy to bring the richest state into the game on the coast of New Jersey. I'm not labeled the best, but you best watch out. What's the hottest thing you heard since the locks came out? Maybe Jay Sire, X-Fire, Def Jams out of picture playing on tire. Batter up to the plate, I'm Barry Bonds. Hit after hit, I'm a platinum, a 5 million times 6. You do the math, I hit the stash, stick a crystal bag, cruise the ab, little Kim puffs some ass. Politicking with me. When I'm stabbing your wife because it said you won't grow. That's blatantly disrespectful. Lately I let my text fall. Holla back, spit it in blood, that's all I got a taste for.
Y'all just wanna see what they made of. Y'all niggas switched up, but they did a job. Rel G, Marvin Reed wanna show you. Clockwork getting paper like they supposed to. Can't stop the grind.
I got you, baby. It was the birth of a star in '69. 5 fingers and toes, I guess it came out fine. I always stayed focused, stayed on my path. I'm still here, money built to last. We took a long trip, came back as made men. Back on again. Tell me where this ever end. I think never, ever too clever. If you try to stop it, better have your together. I'm highway bound with my clockwork stamp. You see, I do it all, gotta lace up my camp. T-shirts, rags, or whatever's on stock. I put my own when I slide through your block. So what the hell are you hating for? Can a black man get money anymore? You knew we was a problem when we came through the door. We rock fly, keep your shorties on the floor. Come on.
Y'all just wanna see
Clockwork.
what they made
Rel G. Take it personal. Holla.
They did a job. Rel G, Marvin Reed wanna show you. Clockwork getting paper like they supposed to. Can't stop the grind. I know you really wanna, I know you really wanna, I know you really wanna stop how they stop the grind. I know you really wanna, I know you really wanna, I know you really wanna stop how they
Ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned it briefly before we broke for the last stage of entertainment around here at JCT Television. But we spoke about the demand for an artist. We wouldn't even call the term attention, but a demand for the name, right? I mean, in order for the music industry to survive, one of the things we need to do is reform, a reformation, right? And the thing is, how can you have a demand for 24 or 18 tracks on an album that no one knows your name or is calling your name? We need to revert back to building an artist a single at a time, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's a singles market to begin with. It's not an album market, partly because the majors and other companies abused the buying public for a long time by putting a bunch of old stuff or weak stuff on with the one single. People just stopped buying albums because they weren't getting their money's worth. So they just said, you know what, I'm just going to download an MP3, and we dumbed down our entire audience anyway, sound-wise, so that they can't tell the difference between an MP3 and a WAV file.
True.
You know, I mean, it's not an accident that that's happened. But I will just say that if you're an artist and you come to me as a producer or as a label, and you tell me you want to make an album, you want me to produce an album for you, my first question is, who's going to buy it? Where are your fans? Is there a demand even for a single by you, let alone an album, and an album with 24 tracks, 18 tracks, whatever? Because every time I go into the studio, the meter's running.
That's
okay?
Right.
I mean, even if you owned your own studio, you got an electric bill. So understand that I'm paying for studio time, and why do I want to go and cut 24 records, 25 songs on an artist that hasn't demonstrated the ability to sell one? If you come in and you tell me that 15,000 people will come out to see your show, and they will buy your record, and they have, you know, your little self-distributed stuff, you sold 1,000 CDs from iTunes, I'll pay attention to the, I say, all right, so let's get another hot single or two, and then we'll begin to talk about what would make up an album. 24 tracks, 18 tracks. Why? What are you, I understand that an artist wants to have something to mail out to friends and family or to prospective concert promoters or festival organizers, but they're not going to listen to 24 tracks. Honestly, they're really not.
Yeah.
They want to hear the hit. And even if you get a gig that's got a major promoter behind it, and they buy radio spots, they're not going to play more than, at the most, excerpts from 2 songs on that commercial.
Right.
And they're going to be the 2 songs that were the hit singles.
Indeed.
So the album, I mean, you know, in days when artists had albums, the album had 8 songs on it.
Exactly.
Okay, when we had vinyl records,
exactly.
It had 4 songs on one side, 4 on the other. That was 10 songs was a miracle.
That's right.
Philadelphia International, Motown, Volt Stax, 8 songs on an album. And that had enough risk to it.
Indeed.
And the guys who were lucky enough to get a song on an 8-song album.
Indeed.
Those were the so-called B-sides and album cuts. They were killer songs.
That's right.
They were killer songs.
That's
they could
right.
just as easily have been hit singles.
And they could be bring them back today.
Yes,
And they could actually
and redo
be
it.
hits.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the artists today that's running around putting 18 tracks or 24 tracks out there, I believe you spoke about the theory of one hit to compensate 9 flops. They're setting them up for one hit to compensate 24 flops.
Oh, maybe all 20. I mean, the truth is, if you're a label or a producer, or in my case, both, okay, somebody has to pay for the studio time, for the musicians, for the background singers, for the mastering, as well as if we're going to burn CDs, etc. That's all cash out. Now, if I have to cut 24 songs in the hope that I'm going to find one single out of that, my chances of breaking even on that project are somewhere between slim and none.
Indeed.
And mostly on the none.
Indeed.
Okay, so I can't do that. And frankly, even the majors today have backed away from an album on a new artist. They may start down the process of recording, but it's slow. Okay, the first thing they got to do is demonstrate this guy's got, or gal has got, or group has got hit potential. Let's see what happens with the first single before we do an album, before we crank up this battleship size promotion effort that majors can mount when they want to put 47 people on a record and send them out all over the world. Okay, they want to see, will the DJs play it? What does it cost in incentives to get some help from the DJs? What's the response after it gets airplay? Is there any reorder demand that comes in from the rack jobs and the one stops and I'm looking at the buying audience today. I want to ask your audience, when's the last time you walked into Sam Goody's and bought a CD? Honestly, when's the last time you went? I don't even know if Sam Goody's is still in business, because so why do we need an album by an unknown artist with 24 songs on it?
Indeed.
No one wants to buy it.
And that entire process that you just finished speaking of, as far as making a demand, creating a demand, building that team that's going to actually do that, all of that right there costs money. So again, that retreats back to the term recoupment. We're going to do industry corporate comparison. And what that means is that we're going to show you, or we have exposed to you, some of the things here tonight that goes on in the industry, behind the back, as well as right there on the front table, which just blinded to your eyes because you don't have the knowledge of the industry. But I'm going to start off with some of the other labels, right, that do some of the other things, and we're going to compare your particular label, Capsicum Records. How would you begin?
Well, we've talked about recoupment and all the different ways that labels try to recoup their production budget, at least their production budget against the artist. Maybe not their promotion and marketing budget, but certainly their production budget. So you basically, just as an example of that, okay, most record companies own the SR, the sound recording. I'm not talking about the PM, I'm talking about the copyright. I'm talking about the actual sound recording. That's what comes out of the studio when it's mastered and put on. Okay, that is owned by the record company. Now, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
If the artist has paid back all the cost of recording out of his artist royalties, why is the record company still keeping the SR? They're not out of pocket anymore. They have recouped many times over what they spent creating the product. Why isn't the artist who's actually paying his own way, why isn't the artist keeping the SR? The only artist in history that I know of who was allowed to keep his own SR was Ray Charles.
There you go.
And it was unheard of. And they almost had a heart attack when he first proposed it, because it was a blasphemy. Okay? Indeed. And he made it a deal breaker. But most artists don't even try it. Okay? But Ray Charles, when you can sell records the way Ray Charles did, where they couldn't keep them on the shelves fast enough, you might have something to negotiate with. Indeed. Now, we've discussed how recoupment works, at least against a production budget.
Yes.
The other thing that I want to remind you is that when you sign with any label I know of, with the exception of our own, you are, all of your recordings for a period of time, 1 year to 5 years, depending on how many options at their option they have to renew you are record exclusively for that label. That means if you are on Sony, you can't sell product out on Universal unless it's old product. But nothing. You can't go and simultaneously record for Universal or EMI that doesn't go.
Conflict.
You are exclusively belong to that label. So the idea of a free agent is only after your contract is expired. Okay. So you might be able to go in and renegotiate some terms, but as long as they want to exercise that option and the option exists on contract, you remain the exclusive artist property of that label. So what's different about us? Number one, and I think very significantly, and remember, we're a singles-driven label.
Outstanding.
We don't really do albums on individual artists. Maybe some of our artists will get to the point where there actually will be sufficient demand to do that. There are artists that we have worked with that we are ready to do a second single on, that sort of thing. But we don't do albums on artists. So we stay in the singles market. But the other thing is, all of our artists, from beginning, middle, to end, they are always a free agent. That means if we get a hit on you and we spend a lot of money making a hit, and Sony comes along and offers you a room full of money to come and sign, we wish you good luck. We hope you'll remember the production team, so that if you negotiate a nice deal with Sony and they will allow you in your contract, because maybe you'll retain control over your music or whatever, you want to keep the production team that you have here, but you want to go to the muscle that a major will give you, you're free to do that. You are always a free agent at Capsicum Records. If that was the only thing we offered an artist, I would say that's enough incentive to come and at least sit down and talk to Capsicum about your career. The other thing that I will tell you that makes us very unique is, unlike every other label in the world, we do not recoup production costs against the artist royalties.
Wow.
Now, hear that. What that means is you're going to get paid as an artist from download one.
Oh.
Okay, so
how we, especially them, how we able to afford to
we eat
this little manure.
We eat it. And the reason we eat it is very simple. We keep the SR. To me, it is insane That's like saying you're going to pay off a car. I'm going to go over to the auto dealership over here. I'm going to pay off a car on terms on a note, and when they're done, they take the car back. No, it's my car now. You can't repo a car I paid for. You could repo a car I didn't pay for. You can't repo. If I compensated the label for, why is the SR belong to the label? Well, we keep the SR because you don't pay us back. That's just justice. Okay. The other thing is because we don't recoup any production budgets against the artist royalties. The same is true of any writer royalties, publishing royalties, or production royalties that are due the artist. Those are all separate things. There's no cross-collateralization, any of that nonsense that exists throughout the business. I guarantee you, if you go to any other label and look at a recording contract, all that stuff is in there, and I wouldn't be surprised that breakage and stuff like that is still in there, because they can. They get away with it because they can, because people are hungry, and and even their entertainment lawyers don't know what they're telling their client to sign.
Most of them don't know the business. I mean, entertainment lawyers, you better be wise when you select
That's what makes Capsicum different, I think. That we really are kind of, I mean, I know we're a song-driven label. We're not really an artist-driven label in that sense. That to us, it's about the hit, it's about the song more than about the artist, and that's why we don't hold on to people exclusively, because we figure we make the artists' careers because we're making the hits. But nevertheless, if you're an artist looking to break into the business, having your freedom to sign with another label at any time and not having the cost of making the record recouped against you so that you're never out of pocket. Those are two very good reasons. And especially if you're a singer-songwriter or a writer-producer as well as an artist, those are things that keep your royalties coming to you instead of going into somebody else's pocket.
Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, it's been real. Roger, as in always, we appreciate having you.
Great
Make sure you're down there from February the 9th, JMG Awards, as we open the panels and begin the workshops that's going to enlighten you folks to how to really make it in the music industry. We're going to end on a different note this evening than we normally do. We're going to go over to a performance from Mazoo, and we're going to close out with another sensational radio interview at from JCT 92.G Radio. As important in all ways, I'm Poppa T. I say success awaits us. Keep it coming, folks.
All right, I want to give a great big shout out to everybody who's watching on JCT TV, our special guest Meltzer, Poppa T, the golden one, and Big Al in the back. All right, and I got a performance for you guys. Speaking from the heart, spoken words are my thoughts of things hard for me to say, so I'll explain in poetic way. Example, as a man, when you think you found the one, come to find out she didn't want you since the interactions begun, but you didn't know, so you still making your move. She think you all about the swag and trying to get on your groove, but it's not about that. He want to know your pursuit to see if it's worth having a future with you, because he's getting no's, so he needs a girl that can be satisfying and true. He doesn't want to mess with these runaround sues. He wants to wait till the moment is right, but sometimes you gotta take the leap of faith, no matter the height, and assume that you'll land gracefully in the hands of the woman of your dreams, and you thank the Lord for being the opposite of mean. And now that you have this girl, you feel like your life is in order. You was taking all these blows, but now you out of the corner. You make me thank God for every mistake I ever made, because each and every one of them led me down to the path that brought me to you. And for those who still looking for that girl, you'll find her in this world. Just do these 3 simple things. Stay patient, stay humble, and stay true. Because when you do all that, that's when they start to recognize you. Marzu.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Poppa T here at JCT 92.G Radio, making it do what it do. As in always, we have the pleasure this evening of having in the house with us none other than that sensational artist, Danny of JDX. Danny, how are you?
Man, Papa, I couldn't be better, man. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.
Opportunity to just wish you all the best for the New Year, and may God just keep shining over you as He always been doing.
Indeed, and continue to bless and to anoint those that come into our lives to be a blessing unto us and the projects that we project for Him. On that note, we're gonna do a quick summation here. I know it's actually going to air on television. I want to know, give me your 3 highlights that you look toward achieving or shining light on in this new year, 2013, Dan.
Okay, do you want 3 of them?
3, yes, sir.
I always pray for the best of the best because number 1 to me is good health.
Okay.
Because good health to me, I can achieve every other stuff.
There you go.
Good health, so good health is number 1.
There you go.
Family is number 2, though, and friends as number 3 because we're living in a world where those 3 are very rare, and because it's so rare that I always cherish it because family, friendship is one of the best things in life that anybody could live on. No matter how much money you have and you don't have no family and friends to share the love with, you still don't have much. There are other things I would like to acquire in life, which is the things that God has placed aside for all of us to achieve: food, clothing, and shelter, of having it better, which is good success. We believe that God has blessed us with. I'm working towards it because by the sweat of our brow, we all know that we're I put it right on the lane also.
Okay. All right. And let's see. I know that you. How did you bring the New Year's in?
How did I?
Yes. They say however you brought it in is usually the way that it's going to continue throughout the new year.
You know, I really had a very quiet one. I had it. I enjoyed it with friends because it was a very good family. We went out for the new year. For the ending of the year, we went on a cruise, which was a very good experience.
Beautiful.
But coming back home, I celebrated it with some good friends of mine, and we welcomed it very pleasantly, and it was a very joyous one.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, one of the inspirations that I have is listening to you actually perform music, but not only perform it, speak about it, but being an inspiration in life as well. Just speaking on the principles of the higher powers that motivate and inspire us and others to do things that are more positive in the likes of production. And I believe that that's what life is one major production.
Yeah, I believe that too, because without it, I feel the greatest part of life is to remember those that have walked before us and the work that they put and the effort and the energy, the struggle that they left. I think we should have it a legacy, and because they paved that path for us and we end up having it so smoothly, we tend to forget. I think the vision of keeping it alive is harder, and knowing that few of us remember to keep it alive because of them, we need to be grateful of that part so that God can give us the strength and the energy to just carry that touch, and others could still know that it is burning.
We're going to wind up wrapping this up with one of your tracks called none other than Money. And you know I love that track. But you have 15 seconds. Let us know exactly what inspired you to actually produce that beautiful track, Money.
In one word, money is the king of the whole world. Money rules every part of the whole universe. And that's what inspired me.
Beautiful.
Money. I went to a seminar and this man make one speech and he says, money never sleeps. And that's all that he had to say.
Wow.
And the inspiration just came instantly. I could write this money never sleeps. And if you listen to the first verse, it will tell you the whole story of what all the song is about. It's all about money and the power of money.
There it is. There it is. There it is. And that there is definitely the truth. I concur. And I definitely can vouch for you on that one right there. That when they say that money, a lot of folks say that money is the root of all evil, but I don't believe that's not exactly what the scripture meant, but rather so the lack of it could become the root of all evil.
I believe that too, because the lack of it is the frustration of what's taking place in our world today. And if it wasn't for the lack of it, every one of us had abundantly big portion of that thing called money. Life would have been much easier for you and I to enjoy it, right?
Indeed.
Because everything we need in the world today is money.
Especially in the Western Hemisphere. Discontent with wealth is just another trick of the wealthy to keep the poor without it. All right, on that note, my brother, it's been a pleasure speaking with you as in always. And we're going to go over to track number 3, Money, and make it do what it do.
Woo! Woo! best, and yes, we are the very best.
$7 popping collars, eating shrimp, $5 met some girls from Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they wouldn't bother, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me.
Knowledge to me.
Doing her work every night of the week. Like she chillin' up at college with me.
College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 430. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey, or a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high, fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on, ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze ya, oh, let me hold ya, oh, let me squeeze ya, oh, let me hold ya. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. Okay. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. So I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim, think we fly. Time's on our side, but look again, then it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin, let's begin. Hey, you're kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really